Alright, we have some new visitors in the Izoyoi Hotel. Natsu, Meg, and Rabby. They're all in the same room and they all count as one. Hey yo, senpai, what you want? Already got them up to 100 trust, so let's talk. Alright, what do you want to talk about? About the three of you. You want to know about us, Sensei? No problem. I'll tell you anything you want to know. What would you like to know? I think we covered almost everything back at the hamburger place, though. Well, first of all, can you stop calling me Sensei? Combined with that outfit, it just reeks of something shady. Judging from your attire, the three of you were high school students in this town, right? Yeah, we were in our second year of high school. But that was back when I was a human being. So I'm probably over 20 now. We couldn't graduate because of what happened, so the three of us borrowed the uniforms from a store. And just to get a feel of the atmosphere that was around at the time. But, well, as to be expected, I can only raise it up so far because my wings are in the way. I mentioned as such at the burger place. In the facility where we were confined, we still had the clothes we were wearing when we were taken. And when we escaped, they were so shredded we were practically naked. Even if demons don't get cold, you still want to put something on, don't you? I'm a former human after all. So then, those clothes are regular uniforms prepared outside, not generated by your demon magical powers? That explains it. I thought you had a little more wrinkles at the burger place. Yeah, I don't have to worry about it getting dirty now that I'm inside this magical seal. But I do usually worry about when I'm flying through the air. If it gets soiled and battled or wrinkled so much that you can't tell where the folds are, please take care of the cleaning then, Sensei. At that time, I'd ask you to take care of the school swimsuit as well. It gradually stops being effective with the mucus. I can't get rid of it all by washing with water, and I have a constitution that produces mucus constantly. It's very difficult to remove, it is. No. I'm a priest, so I can't exactly take a wrinkled schoolgirl uniform and a slime-covered school swimsuit to the cleaners. Even if I've been in so much contact with demons, my sense of ethics has been breaking down. It really is difficult. It's okay. Just think of it as training for the future, taking care of your daughter, Nina, right? You've got a little girl, don't you? Nina is a child who hasn't even attended elementary school. I can't prepare for that with her. And those uniforms have been stolen. If they get suspicious and call the police, I'm the one they're going to point at. Don't worry. Even if he gets stuff on the clothes, they'll all be absorbed during the energy drain. So when the police shine a black light on it, it won't react. Oh, that's that thing from foreign dramas, right? It reacts to stuff too? That's not the issue here, and we seem to be getting further and further off topic. Alright, let's stop talking about the dry cleaning. But as I told you at the burger joint, the three of us have been hanging out together since we were humans. The reason why we started hanging out is, like I explained before, the three of us had some kind of psychic abilities. We all had a level of premonition sense to make others be taken aback if they ever heard about it. And so the three of us started hanging out together without ever bothering to go home. And there were times when we get involved in some pretty dangerous things. I was trying to make some extra cash by hooking up with a guy, but then I was kidnapped and ended up like this. I knew I shouldn't have done anything bad. My memory isn't very clear on it, but I think we were waiting for Natsu to return back to the hotel. And then some men in suits came and grabbed us. At first I thought it was our own faults for hanging around without any protection, but it seems like the three of us were targeted from the get-go. I think it was the same with Inko. But when it came to making sketchy money, usually it was Natsu by herself. I think she would get really mad at us when we said we'd help her. Well, you know, it's hard to get turned down when it's just one person. And I'd hate to say it, but the two of you weren't exactly the kind to just hook up with a guy when you were human. And so, well, it's a pretty dangerous bridge to cross. So I just took the risk and did it myself. That's just how I felt at the time. Men in suits? Did MOW kidnap people to be experimented on such a large scale? I'm really curious about that. Was that psychic power you had so great to make them go that far in the first place? Our psychic sense was pretty mild. We could see and feel ghosts to a little extent, but that was about it. If anything, the two of them were more psychic. Not only could we see the ghosts, but the ghosts could sense that we could see them, and they would follow us around asking for help. So when the men in suits approached them, they thought that at first they were a bunch of ghosts. Of course, there's nothing we could do for the dead, and we tried to ignore them, but they didn't care about that at all. I tried to distract myself by reading, but when dozens start following you around and whispering to you, it starts to interfere even with your normal conversations. Even though I kept ignoring them, more and more of them just kept showing up. I was so tired of it. That's when I met Natsu, and the three of us started playing together, and they gradually stopped approaching us. That's because wandering spirits like gloomy places and dislike cheerful places. Of course, the same is true for the feelings given off by people. The three of you together probably gave off the feeling of a bunch of friends playing together, and the wandering spirits gradually stopped approaching you. Well, ever since I became a demon, that would include me, I haven't noticed any of those problems. It seems strange, but the other side is no longer impressed. But the three of us hung out so much that even with our troubles gone, we can't stop now. There's no reason to stop. But of course, it's more fun being together than alone. Natsu saved my life, so I would never say goodbye to her. That's right. Kagayona is right. The joyful feelings they give off is something that wandering spirits don't like. It's really hard for someone to generate that. If someone isn't truly enjoying themselves, or if negative feelings towards someone else gets mixed in, such a powerful force would quickly dissipate. The three of them, they must really get along. Aw, how nice. Alright, let's chat. About Natsu. This is all according to Akiyama, but I heard that Natsu could be considered a vampire. Wow, so this ability is a racial thing? Well, it's true, I thought it seemed like a vampire ability to only be able to be active at night. Well, I didn't hear much about it in the lab, so I only know half the story, but it seems like something additional was added into the magical formula, or something. If I recall correctly, they were conducting additional experiments on the second specimen because the progress seemed stable. In an experiment to give them special abilities to match their changed physical characteristics. They said that each of us would be administered with a different magical ailment they did. After the experiment, I became really strong during the night, and then really weak during the day, and I began to suck blood from my partner's neck excessively. So it was all caused by my vampiric abilities. I had thought it was I just had a fetish for biting the nape of the neck. You didn't know? But you shared your ability with the other two. Does that mean you did it unconsciously? Yeah, that was more of an accident. We were just messing around right after we escaped from the facility, and we just ended up messing with each other by mistake. She hugged me and said, "I'm so hungry," and then bit my neck. It didn't hurt, but I was just surprised. Eh? 2 times? Ever since then, we have been full of energy at night, but have no energy during the day. In other words, we became vampires just like Natsu we did. That's not a bad thing. We're now able to work better at night, even if we're not as agile as Natsu. I can't be that agile, but I sleep in the day anyway. How about it, Sensei? Would you like to have that ability too? But it would be inconvenient for a priest in your position to only be active at night, wouldn't it? Well, I'd rather suck up other stuff from Sensei. And I'd rather suck on him someplace other than his neck. What's wrong, Sensei? Your crotch seems to be disturbed. Let's change the subject about Natsu's other abilities. Like, that ultrasound stuff. So you didn't know about the vampire abilities, but you knew that you could stun people with your voice and you used it on humans? That's true. They experimented on us with all kinds of animals at that facility. None of them reacted more than by fainting. But the people who saw the results, including you, weren't happy with the results. It was too weak or something. I eavesdropped on their conversations. It was apparently supposed to be effective against demons, but it's too easily inhibited by magic. At the time, I had no idea what he was talking about, but then I saw that Kagayona Lei actually disable it in that store, so it makes sense. It's not exactly easy to say this myself, but I am among the lowest class of demons too. Even if I didn't have a boost from the magic seal, I would be able to improvise a solution for that ultrasonic ability. It's far from ready for real battle. Ah, but now I'm connected with Sensei's power with the magical seal. I think it would work as long as it's a wandering spirit. I'll do my best, so please keep me by your side all the time, Sensei. Can you please stop calling me Sensei? Alright. About Meg. You want to know about me? I don't know what to say. Well, as you can see, I am a frog demon. Beelzefrog, is where the name comes from, is a giant frog in the late Cretaceous period. Ah, Meg, you're talking too fast again. Maybe since I can't hear you. Meg is not very good at conversations, but when someone's talking to them, they suddenly can't talk at all. No, they can talk, but they talk way too fast. It's just that I get too nervous. I don't have very many traits to speak of, so it's much more fun to listen to conversations. I don't have anything that's too interesting. I wish I had more attractive features that would appeal to people, like Natsu and Rabby, but unfortunately I'm a frog. What are you talking about? You have many nice features, like your agility and your mucus. Meg is always so cute. Sure, there are many people in the world who don't like frogs or reptiles. But if Sensei didn't like them, he wouldn't be talking to you. Could it be that Meg's recent use of ninja speak is to add to her character? Huh? Your way of speaking is just an afterthought? I mean, I knew that way of speaking is not used very often these days. No, I'm pretty sure I used it when I was a human too. But with this body, I was able to jump and do acrobatics to get to all kinds of interesting places. In fact, I was doing all sorts of covert moves, I was. And then Natsu said that I'm just like a ninja. And I had longed to be a ninja ever since I was a child. So, I took this tone of voice. And when it comes to ninjas, it has to be the Gozaru tone of voice, doesn't it, right, Richard? Yeah, I've seen that all the time in TVs and stuff, so yeah. Meg was the hardest worker at school out of the three of us. When she wasn't with us, all she did was read. She doesn't remember much about her human life, but she seems to have brought all that knowledge with her. Most of the trivia I know is from Meg. Yeah. It was Meg who told us that the bioweapon names were names of creatures from the age of the dinosaurs. It's just something I did to take my mind off of the psychic sense. But I've always have liked comics. I wasn't really a creative person, so I read the same book, the same page, over and over again. Despite all the reading I did, I'm not a very literate person. And now that I think about it, that must be why I'm bad at talking. Perhaps the reason I'm not a good talker now is because I didn't talk with others much when I was a human. And so I don't know how to talk to others. Until now, I haven't had much trouble because of it. Natsu's the one who usually picks up the conversation topics. It's your fault it is, Richard. Huh? Huh? I don't understand! How is it suddenly my fault? Why is it my fault that Meg suddenly has trouble speaking? Meg is the most sexually active of us three because she has the magical elements of a succubus implanted into her. And so, ever since that time at the burger joint, she's been wanting to eat, Father. She's been breathing quite hard until now. Rabby? How'd you pick up on that at a time like this and divulge it? Ever since Meg met Sensei, she has been unable to suppress the urge to swallow you whole that she had been suppressing until then. You know, kind of like when a student goes through puberty. You know how when you first start to really take notice of someone and you suddenly get nervous and can't talk to them, even if you want to? It's probably that kind of thing. But students don't swallow the person they love whole. That's right. If I give in to the urge, I'd turn into a real frog. I don't know if these feelings I have for Rachel are due to sexual desire or due to appetite. I don't know for myself. Don't worry, you can work that out later. You might even be able to swallow Sensei whole, you know. But first, you have to show yourself off to the best of your ability. Look, that's not the only thing that makes Meg unique, right? Since we're talking about her, go ahead and explain it all. Well, if you say so. Other than my ninja-like physical abilities, the only thing I have going for me is the mucus that oozes from my body at all times. My mucus is like a natural lotion that does not contain anything like an aphrodisiac or the like. Except for its viscosity, it cannot be used for seduction. However, it seems to have been given a magical healing effect following the effects of ancient Ezo oil. It seems to have the effect on a demon's magic abnormality, it does. Yeah, when I had a tummy ache, she put a sticky coat on my tummy and it healed right away. I was so surprised. I'm pretty certain that it's just because Rabby ate too many burgers at the time. And it upset their digestion, rather than magical conversion. It just couldn't keep up. So then, Richard, if you call me during battle, I'm sure I can help you with the effects of my mucus. Although I cannot directly support you like the other two, I'm confident in my ability to avoid attacks. If you want, I can cover you in right now. Even if there is nothing that's injured. Not there! You already covered it before I could even reply! Yep, she licked him down there. Alright. Rabby. You gonna talk to me? I'm so sleepy. Won't you take a nap with me? Since coming to this hotel, we've completely lost the sense of day or night. But Rabby's sleeping all the time. Originally, even when we were outside, she wouldn't be active for very long. She's slow. She's also a slow thinker, so she moves very slowly. She could barely even keep up at night, dude, with my blood-sucking ability active. I mean, she just goes at her own pace all the time. The name of the biological weapon for Rabby is Procoptodon. That is, a kangaroo that is said to have lived in the Cenozoic era. But the kangaroo's sleeping time is generally pretty short. Maybe she's really a rabbit demon like she says she is. Rabbits sleep a lot and rest a lot, they do. I don't remember much either, but the demon that was put onto me had a name like that. I'm pretty sure it was Mother Rabbit or something like that, when they poured the magical element into my fluffy body. Ah, Mother Rabbit, yeah. It's the same with my boobs. When the emotions run high, they get bigger, and I get even fluffier. Yeah, I was really scared at first. I thought, isn't she a big rabbit? And then she stuffed me and Meg into her pouch. But it feels really good inside of her pouch. It's like the magic of a futon in winter. And the hair of Rabby is so special that even my mucus disappears as soon as it attaches to her body. It's always so fluffy and soft, as it should be. What's more, is even though it was very warm, it didn't feel hot at all. And even though it was airtight, there was no sense of suffocating in it. When we were locked up in that facility, we used to go to Rabby's pouch all the time. And if we feel like it, we still go in there every now and then. I also feel really good when I hug someone. It's like a feeling of loneliness that is normally untreated that at that moment gets fulfilled. But if I release them, like a jug with a hole in it, I'll immediately feel lonely again. So I just want to hold on to them forever. And if you drink the milk that comes from my chest, you'll feel very satisfied. You two haven't been drinking as much lately. I know there hasn't been as much trouble, but you could drink some more, can't you? No. Rabby, your milk is... I don't know, it's too addictive. We did it before without needing to. Natsu and I continued to sleep and drink. And before we knew it, 3 whole days had passed. I hear that has some kind of dangerous element to it. Sure, it's really fulfilling, but when Rabby pampers you, you have a great pressure to call her mama. When someone drinks the Rabby's milk, they change! It's because when I first saw y'all drinking from them, I just couldn't help myself anymore. Father, will you drink from my boobies and be my baby boy? It'll feel so nice. No, that's... Oh, hey! Don't hug me so suddenly! You're going to be a good boy, aren't you? Sensei! I suggest you don't go against Rabby once her switch is turned on. She's the biggest and most powerful out of the three of us. For an ordinary person, it's futile to resist her. It's like, in the security office, she was deliberately holding back to allow us to be able to compete with her. But when Rabby gets serious, even we have to back down.